may have seen me flip-flopping a few of these. I wanted to make sure that the longest studs are on the top, and that's because of the way the exhaust is. Let's go ahead and show you. This is what I was talking about, how the bottom is just that thick, but the top, because you've got this additional, these 4 on top, are going to need the longer studs. And it looks like I'll probably need to replace these gaskets in here, so I'll probably go ahead and pull that bolt and get this off. Okay, I loosened it, and we'll go ahead and put that back in there. Oh, that one came off, and so did that one. So I'll go ahead and clean all these surfaces, and I know I got some gaskets for these. They look pretty good now. I think I told you in the last video, you don't need to undo the collector down here. You just need to undo the bolt where there's an ear that comes off of the downpipe. There's an ear that comes off and bolts to probably the transmission or the block or something. But anyways, if you do take those off, I believe I actually have gaskets for these. Oops. I'm gonna go look. I think that kit came with these, so I'll clean these up too, and then when they go back together, that should seal nicely. Okay, I'm just going to kind of mock this up, make sure everything's good before I start putting stuff in. That would go like that. Those aren't threaded, so those are not holes. So I've got all my holes. And then this guy should go around. Sorry for the squeaks. That's the styrofoam, but yeah, okay. Cool. I think we will be good there. I do need to find the gasket for this guy right here. That is it. Cool. When replacing a head gasket, if the block is not being resurfaced, should anything be sprayed on the new head gasket before assembly? No, you should not spray anything on a new head gasket before assembly if the block is not being resurfaced, as the modern gasket's built-in coatings are designed to seal on their own. Instead, you should ensure the block surface is perfectly clean of old gasket material, debris, and oil using a suitable solvent and lint-free rags before carefully positioning the new head gasket and installing the head. Well, I should probably find something to spray on there then, don't you think? Okay, looking at these side by side, it looks like we know we need to pound in the dowels. Looks like the hooks need to get transferred over. And then this guy on the back, why is there only 3 bolts? There's 2 holes down here that are empty. Anyway, got to transfer that over, I'm sure, so I'm going to start pulling that stuff off. pounded in these 4, and if you can see, this sticks up a little more. So this is my bearing pounder thing, but without anything on it. I'm just smacking the actual screw. So this is aluminum, so it's fairly soft. So I'm just putting this on there and smacking it in like that. They're all in. Okay, I just ran all the threads of the head bolts through the spinny. Gonna clean them off with some brake clean and then put some engine oil on them. Run them in and out, finger loose or whatever, make sure they all thread in. I think that's actually one of the most important things. I mean, obviously, if you can, use brand new bolts, but we're not going to in this case, so go ahead and attack me in the comments. But I read one time that one of the most important things for head gaskets is that they have even torque applied to them, so, or even clamping force, not even torque, because your torque wrench could say the same on every single one, but if you've got little burrs or whatever, or if the top of the head, as it's as it's clamping down, if there's a little bit of friction underneath the head right here, you might be reading 58 foot-pounds, and then it might only be 46 at the bottom or whatever. So that's very important. That's why they tell you to put some oil on it. And I read one time, go in like 50% and then back it out a quarter turn, and then go in 75%, then back it up a quarter of a turn, and then go 100%, back a quarter turn, and then full again. And the reason for that back and forth is to make sure that if there is anything in there, any burrs or anything like that, you're getting past them and you're getting even clamping force all the way around. I'm running these all in finger tight. Put a slight amount of oil on the threads and on the underside of the heads. Do not use too much oil. If you get oil underneath the bolt and you're tightening it down, you can hydraulically crack your block, and just make sure you blow your bolt holes out with air. Put a very small amount of oil on just to reduce the friction, and you should have success. Okay, I have cleaned this, scraped this, and cleaned it, scraped it, cleaned it, scraped it 12 times. So I'm just going over it one more time with some brake clean. And I do have a light mist of WD-40 inside the cylinders. Okay, I was just checking this thing out. Actually a lot thicker than I thought it would be. Okay, which way does this guy sit? That is a dead giveaway. Has to go right there, so go like that. Okay, I'm getting ready to go grab it. I'm gonna put this ground wire up here, and then we'll put it down in a second. So let me grab the head. Hey, that actually landed right where it needed to go. Cool. Okay, this is how she's gonna stay for tonight, and then I'll watch some videos because I want to make sure. I keep seeing 5 different things on what the torque spec is. One says 58 pounds in increments of 3. One says do 3 steps up to 59 pounds and then a quarter, like a 90-degree turn. One says 65 pounds, so I don't know. I never cleaned the bottom of the head before I plopped it on top of that gasket. What an idiot. I don't even know what I was thinking. I just came over, I was thinking about how heavy it was going to be in my head and how I was going to, like, literally, physically get it on there by myself. Didn't even think about flipping it over, spraying brake clean on it, making sure there was nothing, no debris. So now I'm debating whether or not to completely remove it, just to clean it and clean the top of the gasket and put it back in there. There's so much work to get to that point. I feel like I have to remove it and check it at least. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I guess that's good for you guys though, because that will give me an opportunity to show you guys how to get this on here after the head's already in, because with the tensioner pushing on the chain, this is down about 1/4 inch and it's very hard to get it up. There's actually a really easy way to do it, so I'll show you that. Let me undo everything I did yesterday real quick. Check this out, you guys. That's so cool. We actually got 3 Jeeps here, and mine's the sissiest one of them all. That is so cool. Wow. Very cool. So I had brake clean on a rag and I was wiping this down, and that's a big no-no. I saw like there was a film that was dissolving on it, so I went down and got some of this copper steel spray. You can only do this on certain types of gaskets, but I went ahead and wiped it the rest of the way down with brake clean. And now I'm gonna spray this on both sides. I shook it up quite a bit in the car, and anyway, you spray it and then you let it sit for a little bit and then you put it on. The head is clean this time. Made damn sure of that. Alright, cool. Phew, that is nerve-wracking. Okay, I'm gonna get that ground on there, and then I'm gonna put a bunch of assembly lube on here, and then I will show you guys the trick to getting this back on. Oh, it's green. Okay. Anyways, I looked it up, and it doesn't specifically say that it's high zinc, but I looked it up and said, yeah, it does say it contains zinc, moly, and other high-pressure additives for maximum protection during engine break-in. And then I also picked up a gallon of the, what is it? The diesel oil that everybody uses, the T4. Alright, so I got this torque wrench set to 29 foot-pounds. Let's see if it ever clicks. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I got it at 58. So this is our end torque. Okay. Don't forget to torque this little fella in the front. I looked that up. It said 29 foot-pounds, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright guys, I told you I would show you the little trick to getting this back on there. As you can see, there's that groove right there. Needs to go on this little dowel or whatever. And just by pulling up, you're about 1/4 of an inch too short. So you want to get a 19 millimeter on a breaker bar and just put it on the crank bolt. Okay, and then get something. A screwdriver would be a whole lot better than this. But put it through and pull up on the rocker there. And then when you go counterclockwise, watch what happens. It gives you a whole bunch more room. Okay, it's on. And then once it's kind of on, just hold it there and start your stuff here. I'm gonna have to go clockwise again to straighten it out before this will really thread all the way in, but need like 3 arms to do this. Okay, there we go. I believe that's a 19 also. Let's see. Yeah, okay. This bolt you want to get to, I went back and forth on this. Engine builders say 65 foot-pounds. ChatGPT says 58. They both say use some blue thread locker. So I did 58 because we reused the bolt with blue thread locker. But I had to pull it back out because I already had it in there. So I had to clean it with brake clean and all that crap. Anyway, that's in there. I just started putting this pulley and stuff on because it needs to go in before, I believe, before I can do the distributor. And now I'm wondering if I should have done the exhaust already. So I'm gonna try to stab the exhaust in real quick. Well guys, unfortunately I'm going to have to end this video early, just like the last one. I've been on the phone with tech, not on the phone, on the computer with tech support since 9:30 p.m. last night, and it's 3 p.m. now. And unfortunately, I've been able to edit about 1 minute of footage in that amount of time. So, anyways, I'll just start a new one and keep going. Show you guys how to set the valve lash and the timing and how to break in the cam and all that good stuff. So, but she is running. I'm driving her right now, so you know it worked. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon with the other half. Alright, take care.